Imagine facing an enemy force 2.5 times your size, surrounded by 1,600 heavily armed soldiers. For most of us, the instinct would be to surrender, but not for the legendary Gurkhas of Nepal. Surrender is a word that simply doesn't exist in their vocabulary. They are renowned as some of the fiercest warriors, so formidable that even their adversaries sometimes stop to applaud their bravery in the heat of battle. Take a trip back to 1814, the British Empire, having already claimed vast territories in India, set its sights on Nepal. What they encountered was a sheer force of nature, the Gurkhas. At the Battle of Nalapani, a mere 600 Gurkhas held their position against 1,600 British troops for over a month. During that time, they inflicted heavy casualties on the British, using everything from bow and arrows to stones thrown by civilians. Remarkably, their fierce gallantry resulted in only 68 defenders still standing by the war's end. As the British realized they couldn't defeat these relentless fighters, they made a surprising decision. Instead of exterminating the Gurkhas, they began to recruit them into their own army, a testament to their skill and valor. This partnership, born out of mutual respect, continues today, exemplifying a rich history of exploitation turned into admiration. Let us explore more about these extraordinary mountain warriors' stories of unparalleled courage and remarkable feats that have defined the Gurkhas throughout history and continue to inspire awe to this day. What would you do if 1,600 heavily armed soldiers surrounded your position? Most of us would wave the white flag faster than you can say, "I surrender." But for the legendary Gurkhas of Nepal, surrender isn't in their vocabulary. In this video, we're diving into the extraordinary story of the Gurkhas, the mountain warriors so formidable that even their enemies sometimes stop shooting at them just to applaud their bravery. No, seriously, that actually happened. The year was 1814, the British Empire, having gobbled up vast portions of India like an imperial Pac-Man, turned its hungry eyes toward the mountain kingdom of Nepal. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, only that they were about to face warriors who treated death like most of us treat a minor inconvenience. The Battle of Nalapani would prove just how serious the Gurkhas took their job. Perched in a hill fort 600 feet up, a mere 600 Gurkhas faced off against 1,600 British troops. The math wasn't in their favor, but apparently nobody told them that. For over a month, this small force held their ground. By the end of the first assault in late October, 35 British soldiers were dead and 228 wounded, taken down by Nepalese bows, matchlock weapons, and wait for it, stones thrown by women and children. That's right, Gurkha civilians were giving the British Empire a headache, while British artillery slowly picked them off. Even with artillery rained down on them, the Gurkhas still refused to surrender. When the fortress finally fell in November, only 68 of the original defenders remained. Tirelessly courageous, some managed to escape even while being completely surrounded, proving their tenacity. Unexpectedly, the British, who normally responded to resistance by doubling down on conquest, did something unusual. They started recruiting these fearsome fighters into their own army. It was the military equivalent of saying, if you can't beat them, hire them. And this practice continues to this day. Meet Kulbir Thapa, a man the enemy applauded. Born around 1888 in the tiny Himalayan village of Nigalpani, Thapa found himself at the Battle of Loos in France in September 1915. His unit, the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Gurkha Rifles, faced the daunting task of storming German trenches while wearing gas masks, not exactly optimal fighting conditions. By the end of their push, Thapa was wounded, the last man standing from his group. Most of us would consider this a good time to call it a day, but Thapa spotted a wounded British soldier from the 2nd Leicestershire Regiment. Despite the soldier's pleas to leave him behind, which would have been the sensible thing to do, Thapa decided to stay with him all day and night. When morning broke, he used the mist as cover to carry the man to safety, but Thapa wasn't done yet. He returned to rescue 2 more Nepalese soldiers. And wait, there's more! For his grand finale, he returned for the original wounded soldier in broad daylight. As he zigzagged across no man's land, German machine gunners targeted him, yet somehow every shot missed. At one point, the German soldiers were so impressed, they stopped firing and broke into applause. That's right, In the middle of one of history's bloodiest conflicts, Thaipa's courage was so incredible that even the enemy took a moment to appreciate it. He became the first Nepalese soldier to receive the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest military honor. Fast forward to March 5, 1945. Rifleman Benuakta Gurung and the 2nd Gurkha Rifles were approaching a Japanese position in Burma when they were pinned down by machine gun fire. Then a sniper began picking them off from a tree about 75 yards away. Most people's reaction might be to get lower to the ground, but Gurung simply stood up as if he were ordering coffee and shot the sniper dead. With the squad able to advance to within 20 yards of their goal, they faced 5 enemy foxholes blocking their path. Gurung apparently decided this was taking too long. He sprang forward through a hailstorm of bullets. What followed was like a 1940s video game boss run. Foxhole number 1, 2 grenades enemies neutralized. Foxhole number 2, 1 bayonet charge enemy dispatched. Foxholes 3 and 4 involved more bayonet work and grenades while being shot at from point-blank range. But for the final Bossa light machine gun position with 3 soldiers, Gurung had used all his fragmentation grenades. Improvising with smoke grenades, when 2 blinded Japanese soldiers ran out, he introduced them to his Kukri knife, the iconic curved blade that's synonymous with the Gurkhas. The 3rd soldier? Gurung crawled back into the bunker, snuck up behind him, and ended the threat. Anticipating a counterattack, he and his men held the position. Repelling the enemy response for what should have been a squad effort, Gurung turned it into a one-man show. For his actions, he was awarded the Victoria Cross. If you thought that was impressive, meet Lakshman Gurung of the 8th Gurkha Rifles. In the early morning of May 13, 1945, Gurung was manning a lookout position near the Irrawaddy River in Burma when Japanese soldiers began throwing grenades at the Gurkhas. The first grenade landed on the rim of his trench, and Gurung tossed it back like an unwanted package. A second grenade landed inside his trench, and he tossed that one away too. When a third grenade appeared, he grabbed it, but this time it exploded in his hand. In an instant, his fingers were blown off, his right arm shattered, and his face, body, and right leg were severely wounded. With only his left arm functioning, Gurung somehow managed to load and fire his rifle one-handed while Japanese troops rushed his position. For the next 4 hours, he repelled wave after wave of attackers while shouting, "Come and fight a Gurkha!" By dawn, 31 Japanese corpses lay in front of his position. His one-man defense had prevented the enemy from breaking through the entire line. For this superhuman feat, he too was awarded the Victoria Cross. Do you think these stories are relics of a bygone era? Meet Acting Sergeant Deeprasad Pun of the 1st Battalion Royal Gurkha Rifles. On September 17, 2010, Pung was on watch at a compound in Afghanistan when he heard what he initially thought was a cow. Spoiler alert, it wasn't a cow. It was Taliban fighters setting up an IED at the compound gate. What followed was 17 minutes of pure action film material. Alone in darkness, Pun fired 250 rounds from his machine gun, emptied 6 magazines from his rifle, and hurled 17 grenades and a claymore mine at approximately 15 attackers coming from multiple directions. When they got too close for conventional weapons, he beat them back with a machine gun tripod. At one point, he even dropped a sandbag on the head of an enemy climbing up to his position. Think Home Alone, but deadly. Throughout the fight, he motivated himself with shouts of "Markalai Nepali" for "I'll kill you," which, under the circumstances, was less a threat and more of a spoiler for the Taliban. When the dust settled, 3 attackers were dead, and the rest fled, a wise decision when facing a Gurkha. For his bravery, he received the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross, Britain's 2nd highest combat honor. From the mountains of Nepal to battlefields across the globe, the Gurkhas have earned a reputation as some of the most formidable warriors on the planet. Their motto could easily be "Death before surrender," but preferably the enemy's death. What's even more remarkable, most Gurkhas stand between 5 feet 3 inches and 5 feet 7 inches tall. What they lack in stature, they more than make up for with courage that defies human instinct. Today, Gurkhas continue to serve valiantly in both the British and Indian armies, maintaining their legendary status. The rigorous selection process to become a Gurkha is one of the toughest in the world, with thousands of young Nepalese men competing for just a few hundred positions each year. So, the next time you face overwhelming odds, remember the Gurkha way: stand your ground, face the enemy, and if all else fails, maybe drop a sandbag on their head. If you enjoyed this video on the incredibly brave Gurkha warriors, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And let us know in the comments which of these heroic actions impressed you the most.